Welcome to the I-80 Club Saturday morning coffee show on this Saturday, January the 10th. Josh Peterson and Jack Mitchell with you as always. Jack, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Ready to go for a big Saturday.
Oh, baby.
It's already been a big Saturday this morning, it looks like, from what I can tell.
I was going to say we're hopping on minutes after it's reported from Sean Callahan that Nebraska has landed a portal quarterback.
Sean.
Look at that, Daniel Kaelin.
Big report. Nice job, Sean. Way to go. By the way, new Twitter follower of ours.
Yeah, maybe Sean's watching right now. Hi,
awesome.
Sean.
Shout
welcome.
out, Sean. Nice job breaking that on Kaelin. I wondered. I can't wait to talk about this. This is interesting.
Oh, look at you. Mr. Depth. Mr. Quarterback Depth gets his depth piece.
They do one way to my heart.
Yeah, seriously, the quarterback depth room has gotten a little bit deeper. So, yeah, we'll talk about that, I imagine. We'll talk about the other stuff going on for Nebraska football. Nebraska basketball, Jack, plays in 2 hours? Like, holy crap, it's so early.
Hate this time, but...
Yeah, it seems like you got a busy day ahead. So, like, are you going to... Is everything okay?
What's going on? The beginning. Yeah, it's been a week. It continues to be a week. I'll be watching a little bit on a phone at a dance studio, but... we'll make it work. I'll be able to see it. So,
man, anyway, as a non-father, I miss out on a lot of father activities. You want to talk about one thing that I am happy to never have to participate in: dance culture.
That I usually get out of that because of this show, but won't be able to today. So,
oh wow.
So that'll be the situation there. But no, we'll be good. I'm looking for, or maybe an iPad. And by the way, there's no dance culture. I sit in the car, she gets out, and I watch the game. So,
oh, awesome, perfect. All right, so that's what Jack has going on. Speaking of that game, Nebraska Ball hour, 15-ish minutes after it gets going or after it finishes this early afternoon. So probably 1:15 or so. Jack and Caleb will have the Nebraska Ball hour for you. So hope everyone tunes in to that one. And that is the only other thing we have going on today. No before the witching hour this weekend. Just didn't work with our schedules. Hopefully that will be back next weekend, getting ready for the divisional round of the playoffs in the NFL. So that's what we have going on. The NFL playoffs are today. Jack, what a weekend. What a great weekend of sports.
What's the playoff lineup today?
We got Panthers and Rams in the early window, and then in the night window, we have Bears and Packers on Amazon Prime with Kurt. What is going on? What are you
I don't
doing?
like how now that I put this hat on, I do not like how this bill has been at all. And that
what is he doing?
That is really going to bother me. There are some bill bend issues there. Ugh.
Yeah, well, don't point the finger, point the thumb.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you got a bad pimple right on the tip of your nose, and you can't. Everybody's looking at it or something. Like it's driving.
I think you look normal. I think you look pretty fine, actually. So,
it's fine. It's nice of you to say, and I know you don't have the depth of knowledge of this topic, but
interesting.
It's driving me insane.
If we did a podcast on how to bend hat bills,
Connor's bothering him too on the chat.
Well, then take it off, Jack. Show us your luscious locks.
No, I think no. I got another.
No. All right. We're not doing
that.
Have
to deal. Right. I'm just going to have to deal.
Are we going to be this distracted the whole show? What do you think?
I'm going to have to deal. I said I got to deal.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Shall we start, Jack? Do we want to do any college football playoff stuff? Smoke and Mirrors, Indiana. They're smoke and mirrorsing their way to a national championship game.
Whole lot more of that last night. Oh my gosh. Just one of the most fluky blowouts in the semifinals of the college football playoff that I have ever seen. And they can't do this forever. So I assume big win for Miami at home in the championship. But what a run by Indiana, as it's going to be probably ending here in a couple of weeks, whenever that game is. It
will end because it's the last game of the season. It was their season. Yeah, got to end sometime. It's going to end Monday.
I know it was the first one kind of saying this, like last October 2024, that this is probably a fluke, and I'm glad. It's just cool to be vindicated like this, to just kind of see these sort of games that are just so, just smoke and mirrors, like I said, and lots of smoke, lots of mirrors, and whole closet full of mirrors.
Let me ask you this: I was out last night with some coworkers, and so I was not hopping in the Discord, not hopping on Twitter very much, just kind of cackling at every touchdown for the Hoosiers. But I saw that there was some discussion in the college football channel as it pertains to Nebraska football and Matt Rule and how he's not Kurt Signetti. I imagine message boards across the country, Jack, all of them right now that are a little frustrated to very frustrated with saying, why has he done this and why can't our coach do this? Do you view every success that they have through the lens of why can't this happen here?
No, not anymore. No, it's not only every college, it's every NBA team that's not doing that well. Why can't our coach be Signetti, right?
You think the Knicks are doing this? Why can't we be like Indiana football?
Like every boss in the nation is putting themselves in that athletic director and why can't my new employees come in and immediately be the best person who's ever done this job in the history of the job? Right? It's happening everywhere in all walks of life. Thanks to Kurt friggin' Signetti. Ruin it for everyone, Kurt. Thanks a lot, jerk.
Does he change how people view their spouses? Why can't you be more like Kurt Signetti, dear?
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's unbelievable. When there was you had a class where they were like, okay, well, we grade on on a curve, and then there's one gunner kid in your class and gets a 97, and everyone else is in the low 80s at the highest, and that kid ruined the curve. That's Kurt Signetti. He's the worst. Yeah. And you don't know how he's doing it. You don't know how he's doing it. Listen, if I'm not accusing anyone of anything, let's get that out there at the beginning, okay? That is an important
but
if there is some kind of a Connor Stallions on meth type situation that's going on in the background there, if they've somehow electronically tapped into the databases of every opponent of theirs, I wouldn't be that surprised. That's what it looks like, okay? That's what it freaking looks like.
You're accusing them of cheating?
I said I'm not. Goodness sakes. I make a disclaimer that's legal in nature and, once again, out of your depth, and I make that and you ignore it immediately.
Sorry, I'm not a lawyer, Jack.
I can tell. I mean, it shows when you say things like that.
Does it? It shows?
Yeah, your lack of, yes, you're just a legal layman. But if there were some kind, I mean, I'm saying this, I'm not really, I'm not saying it's for sure not happening. If there was some giant scandal that came out that they were somehow getting in, that they look like they know what the other team is doing, Josh.
I mean, the first damn play of the game is a pick six, right the other way, and it's all right, game over.
There's only one play in my life this entire football season that it looked like they had the opponents play anymore, and that was when Miami got that pick six against.
Oh my gosh, against Ohio State! Holy shit! Yes,
they had that play. I mean, they knew what was coming.
They were. I think they might have been in the huddle with Ohio State for that play. Maybe that's what happened.
Imagine having that Miami play on every play. Every play of the game. That's an Indiana game. That Miami play where that guy was standing waiting for the ball. That's Indiana every freaking play.
Yeah, Adam writes in our Discord.
It's so dumb.
Horse steroids, Jack, is that what's going on here? I think I might make this the breakout video. Jack Mitchell accuses Indiana of cheating.
I didn't. And if you
sneak on into the Indiana, message board culture.
By the way, that's if you disconnect my disclaimer from what I just said, that's illegal. Per the law. So I wouldn't do that.
I'm taking you out of context. Is that what's happening?
I wouldn't want the I-80 Club to get sued by me. I just don't think that'd be good for the future of our company.
Yeah, I get sued. Yeah, Alex says do it after the basketball game. Yeah, Nebraska wins today, and then I put out a video. Not only did Indiana go down to Nebraska, but are they also cheating in football? Jack Mitchell investigates.
And the true answer is this, and this is the answer to most questions in the world, but there's a non-zero chance they are. I love that word, non-zero. What a great word.
Yeah, I remember being very confused by that word for many years. What does non-zero even mean?
It just sort of allows you to say something, even though it's never going to happen, that it could.
Well, I remember talking to a former boss, and the word that he told me to use one time was allegedly. He's like, just say allegedly, and you're going to be kind of covered by a lot of things.
I say that word 10 times a day on my radio show.
Allegedly? Do you really?
Yeah. Well, I talk about a lot of crimes.
A lot of times to say allegedly. One more question on playoff. You excited for the Natty? Is this a game now? Famously, you forget when national championships are played. So Monday, a week from Monday will arrive, and you'll be like, "Whoa, there's a Natty tonight." But are you interested in this from a football perspective, or certainly from a storyline perspective? Does that get your dander up at all?
To your point, I woke up one Tuesday morning in 2017, and I'd missed an entire Alabama Clemson game. I had no idea what was going on. I don't know. I mean, the only reason I'm not is just that I'm worried.
Indiana could beat their ass.
I mean, if they did that to Oregon, I think Oregon might be better than Miami. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if you asked me before this weekend, rank the 4 teams in order, I mean, I think I would have went Indiana, Oregon, Miami, Ole Miss. Yeah,
Miami, Ole Miss. Yeah,
probably. Yeah. So that's why. In principle, I mean, if Miami can keep it close, it'll be amazing. Absolutely. Yeah. And I said this on, it was on my radio show. It was right after you guys went off my radio show and I was saying my goodbyes, because I think I said it to you that I can't quite get my dander up about Miami. This is
you did say that to us. Yeah, you're not triggered by them.
Not like me. It's at least been diluted to some degree. My disdain. It has moved from a class 1 hate to a class 2 hate. I think I can probably say that for Miami, and I apologize if that offends anyone.
I don't know. I don't think people I don't know. I don't think people around here hate them like that anymore. There's what's hateable about Miami other than maybe old feelings?
Well, I mean, man, we really, but that's how all of these, I mean, what's hateable about Texas? Old feelings too, right? I mean,
I guess so. There's an air of superiority that Texas still brings to the table. Where I sense Miami, they do things that I like about football, and I think people like. They play, they're built on the lines. They don't even have a good quarterback. I mean, he's good, but Carson Beck is pretty mid, I think, for the most part. And
so yeah,
to this point,
I think you're right. That's how it is for me. I don't know if that is for other Husker fans. But in any case, I'm not. I mean, my just if I could pick who wins, I would want Miami to win this game.
Yeah, I'm rooting for
because I famously hate. I do not cheer for conference for the sake of cheering for the conference.
See, I always thought that that's what I thought. This doesn't sound like I'm not cheering for Indiana because I don't cheer for conference cheering. This seems like you are rooting against Indiana. There's something different in my opinion. I don't root for them because they're Big Ten.
Okay. Let me give a 30-second update that no one, because John misstated it on the radio again on my conference cheering policy.
Okay.
I don't de facto cheer against the conference. Okay.
This sounds like that. This kind of sounds like that.
But no, let me say, I do not have conference cheering impact my heart. I will not allow. So if my heart reacts and I look at the matchup and I say, I want Iowa to lose this non-conference game I'm watching against Iowa State right now. Yeah. I don't say, well, I probably should root for Iowa. I will not do that. Is a zero factor in my. Now, there are certainly natural situations where I would still cheer for the conference. I like UCLA's colors, for instance. And we got half their team from last year. So, that's those. Excellent point. And they got beaches. That's fun. So I don't do it. That's my theory on that. So okay. I don't know. What do you your thought? Are you just assuming Indiana's going to roll? It's hard not to.
I don't really know because the thing that I was leaning on in picking Miami over Ole Miss was line play and how I thought that their line play would dominate Ole Miss. And that really, I don't know, kind of happened, but it didn't happen as much as I would have expected. Indiana can do that too. And they're just such a violent football team. They're so fast. That was the thing, man, that I came away from. I think I've come away from watching this playoff is they are just able to do things on both sides of the ball that allow them to pour it on. And that's the thing is they want to pour it on. I'd be surprised if Miami won the game. And yeah, if it wasn't a double-digit margin of victory, I think I'd be pretty shocked. The one of the best things to come, Jack, out of the expanded playoff is long layoffs now after the first batch is done. Indiana played a week ago, then they played a week later, and now they're going to play a week and a half later. They are not going to be rusty. Yeah, if this was the old days, you could certainly talk me into Miami because maybe Indiana's a little rusty and it catches up to them. They ain't going to be rusty. And Jack, I don't know, man. I think they might actually have the home field advantage in terms of crowds. This Indiana fan base is ridiculous right now with the way they are traveling.
The game does just happen to be in Miami, but nonetheless, I agree with you.
Yeah. So, I'd be surprised.
Again, consider it the best. It seems like the best comparison is the Nebraska basketball thing. And imagine if Nebraska basketball would go to the Final Four wherever it is,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's a great call. If Nebraska, it would be, when Nebraska makes the Final Four.
Where is the Final Four this year?
Is it in Indianapolis?
By the way, don't tell Ant Wright. I think this means Nebraska's going to the Final Four.
Future friend of the I-80 Club, Ant Wright. Yeah, it's in Indianapolis. It's at Lucas Oil.
I can't get enough of me lately.
Yeah, you got to just slide into his DMs and say, want to come on my podcast. You got to do it. We got to make this happen. We have to do this. By the way, one more comment, Jack, before we get on to other stuff. because you were mentioning how you're going to forget about the championship game.
Is it
Mose
a Monday?
writes, yes, of course it is. It's always a Monday.
And screw you, NCAA.
Mose writes, from the guy saying there aren't enough bowls. Yeah, how do we figure this out where you're like, oh man, there should be 1,000 bowls today, but then the last most important one comes around and you're like, I'll probably forget about it. You got to I don't know how this squares to me.
I'll tell you how it squares.
Okay.
I'm not saying I watch every bowl. I just want a bowl to be available at all times between December 15th and January 11th.
Okay. But when it gets to January 19th, you're like,
in case I want it. Now, if there's only one game, if there's only one bowl, I would like it to be at a time that I'm that I would like it to be on a weekend at very least.
Okay.
But my real preference would there to be one on right now that I could have on in the background. Yes.
At 9:16 a.m.
Put it in Hawaii. Have a series of games in Hawaii.
But if it was in Hawaii, it'd be like 4 a.m.
Oh, I guess I've never learned how. Turns out I've never learned how time zone works. Put it in the Atlantic Ocean on like a battleship. Yeah.
Oh, it drops back to pass. Oh no, the wind took the ball. It's now in the Atlantic Ocean. Incomplete.
Yeah. I mean, like do like a I don't know, like a Air Force Central Michigan game or something on the, I don't know why, but on the boat. Yeah.
Does that give the Air Force a bit of an advantage, given that they would be used to boats?
Honestly, this would solve so many problems. Is everyone, you get a bowl, everyone gets a bowl game if they want one. It's available to all. Bowl, everybody's like, bowl eligibility is not, people don't earn it. You're right. That's fine. Let's just admit it.
Let's just open it up to everybody.
Let's give it to all. Let's make the TV dollars an opportunity for me to watch in all the games. Let's have bowls all the time in empty stands. No skin off my nose. If they want to put it on for the TV money, then let's go. December 5th. I imagine a calendar that's the month-o bowls. I love it.
Sounds great. Well, we'll see if we can make this happen. Maybe it could be brought to you by the I-80 Club. All right, Jack. Do we want to go hoops or Husker football as we move on from the college football playoff? Should we end with hoops since the game by the time we finish up is going to be an hour away?
Sounds good.
What shall we do? I mean, just go portal heavy right now?
Well, Kaelin is the breaking news, so let's start with that.
All right, obviously. So Daniel Kaelin is coming back home to Nebraska. This has been quite the recruiting process. I did see a tweet about that from
Keep
Tim
talking.
Bergeen,
I'm gonna when you talk about it, I'm just gonna accompany
You're
it.
just gonna sing that song.
Tell me what you think.
I was worried that you were gonna open it up and stream it on the show, and then
we're gonna get a DCMA alert if I do this?
Yeah, you're honestly you're too good of a singer. Yeah, so actually we might need to
I'll give it an 8 effort.
Yeah, maybe you just hum it in your head. Maybe you could just keep it in your head instead of and don't even make any noise, and just maybe ignore me. He's coming home. You're excited about this move? Quarterback depth?
Yeah.
Right now, this would mean 3 scholarship quarterbacks.
I ask this in all seriousness.
Yeah.
The third guy that you got, is he, if you just before this morning you knew he was coming, if you gave kind of the profile of that person as a recruit and experience and where they've been before, did you expect it to be a profile that was one that was better than Danny Kaelin's or not better than Danny Kaelin?
Honestly, this would have been the profile, I think, to a T.
Right about
I would have expected. Yeah, so he is finishing up his sophomore season, so he will be a junior, right? I don't know the redshirt situation. He threw 52 passes
For some reason, I might be a sophomore, but you're probably right.
Because I'm trying to remember because he is a 2024 guy, correct?
He was Adrian, goodness sakes, he was Dylan's year.
Dylan. So maybe he will be because, I have to imagine that he's redshirt.
There's only 2 years, and one of them's a redshirt. So
yes, okay. He will be a sophomore, 30 of 52 in 2025, 339 yards, a touchdown, a pick. I mean, nothing special there.
Interception machine. Here we go.
Interception machine. 72 yards rushing. But you're right. I mean, he kind of fits that profile of a player who 4-star out of high school. And there's of course the natural ties where, I've talked to him. I had him on a radio show during the College World Series a few summers ago. So this is someone who, I think kind of fits exactly what you were hoping for. I mean, you always want more experience, right? This isn't a perfect thing, But this is maybe the best you could hope for, right?
100%. Like, I would have said this is a little above what I would have expected for a third. Just your ability to get someone like out of the portal when you got two guys there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was I was thinking more like the profile I was thinking of was like Davila, whichever it is. Like that would have been the comp that I expected.
Well, isn't that what this comp is? I mean, I feel like those guys are two sides of the same coin.
Maybe. I don't know how close Davila was to ever playing at Purdue. I mean, Kaelin.
He was, that's the thing. He didn't have any actual experience.
I mean, Kaelin was the number 2 the whole year and ended up playing in some meaningful games this year. Not a lot, as you mentioned, but I watched him play this year,
Sure. Yeah. So I think from that perspective, it's exactly what you could have hoped for. Now, I mean, the real question is, Jack, does TJ Lateef stay, in the program? And so you got another week.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is Kaelin coming? Is Kaelin coming knowing for sure that there will be two guys there, or assuming there will be two guys there who would, ostensibly, it's hard. I don't even know that they'd be ahead of him, both be ahead of him on the depth chart there. Is Lateef, if you're ordering these now, if they all stayed, what is that likely order?
That's a great question.
How sure are you that Lateef is number 2? Or I guess maybe you think he's 1, but he's not 1. Nobody thinks that anymore, right? There's nobody. Like, people kind of thought it was. Here's the interesting thing. People, I think, kind of thought that maybe with Minchie, but they don't with Calandria, even though it
seemed like a much more realistic quarterback battle with Minchie, whereas with Calandria, it's going to be his job to lose, I think is how I would describe it. It would take a lot. It would take it, and it would be quite the surprise, right? We are viewing that. It would be quite the surprise.
For me, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
And so, but I think a more interesting question is, do you assume in this situation that Lateef would, how do we even think of TJ Lateef? What's TJ Lateef thinking right now?
I know. Isn't it nuts to think back to 2 months ago, coming off of the UCLA game? They go on a bye week. He played so well in that game. I know I was in the boat because people were starting to call me, and Schaefer called me he asked if I was a Tiffy on Unemployed with Mike Schaefer, available weekdays at noon on the I-80 Club YouTube channel. He asked me on Wednesday, were you a Tiffy? Were you a closet Tiffy? And I think the way that I described it there, and I tried to describe it in November, was I want him to win the starting job for next year because I think that would just be easy for all. If he proved it, I think you would rather have a guy in the room who unequivocally is the starter for 2026 than the alternative. But he just did not finish the season anywhere near that level of performance, which, Jack, I don't think is a surprise, because what did we talk about the week leading up to UCLA? Their defense is trash. Their defense is garbage. And what happened? Their defense proved itself to be garbage. Though, by the way, Nebraska landed a player from that defense, so hopefully he's a lot better in Nebraska. Oopsies. So, I don't know. You asked a good question, though, a couple minutes ago. What is he thinking right now? Because I think you're right. A week ago, when they land Minchie, I think it's, all right, let's go. I think people would have expected Minchie to be the starter, but I think it was feeling like more of a true blue quarterback competition. I don't think anybody feels that way anymore with Calandria. Yeah. I don't think anybody feels that way anymore with Calandria.
I don't.
He started for 3 years. Why would he come in and be a backup?
Right. And that's probably what it always was when you were going to the portal. Like, once you did that, that's probably what it always was. But for some reason, I think I left a little more room if Minchie came and just wasn't what they were expected. Like, there's more of a range of what Minchie could have been than there is with Calandria, I guess. There is at least a possibility he could have, a non-zero, shall we say, possibility that he could have been just like a huge bust, right?
Minchie?
That's not, yeah. And I didn't, not that I thought that, I mean, I was pretty high on getting him, but that could have been because he just didn't have
because he was unproven.
He didn't have the in-game resume.
Sure. Yeah. Whereas Calandria, I mean, I think we kind of know what he is as a quarterback.
But man, if they can somehow keep all three of those, that's about as good as a situation. They got the type of quarterback in the transfer portal that I wanted, that has a chance to be a cheaper hidden gem, as I was talking about with Mike Schaefer on Unemployed, right? The creative vinyl, and you find an underpriced record.
I love that comparison.
That's what you're looking for in there. And then to have not one, but two guys who at least have some experience in games, who have at least been thought about as being, a potential starter in their next couple of years of their career. If you can somehow pull that off, I think that's about as good as you could have ended up. Now, will it work? That's obviously to be seen. That's all good. It's all mainly going to turn on who Calandria is when he gets here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Masturbator writes, only thing about Calandra is he was kind of mid at Virginia.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I forgot. That would be 2 Virginia quarterbacks. Interesting, Josh. Famously, Jack's second favorite college football team.
That is true. Wow.
Did I put in some calls with my connections?
People are asking, does Jack even have any connections? But he's going to keep that under lock and key.
I think I said they're my second favorite team.
Yeah, but does that mean that there are connections? The world may never know. The world may never know. Alex writes,
I'll let you guys discuss that.
Yeah. We'll discuss in the Inside Info channel. Alex writes, Calandra runs around a lot, so TJ will probably get another chance to play. You know what? Honestly, that's a good way to view it. He'll probably get banged up at some point in time because, again,
that's how I think of it.
Yeah, they're using a actual dual threat quarterback now in the offense. There's a part of me, Jack, that's still kind of flabbergasted at how much things are about to change. Like, it's not just going to be going from a quarterback with zero mobility to a TJ Lateef type. They are going from a quarterback with zero mobility to an actual dual threat quarterback. And the offense is going to be way, way different. And I wonder how that looks. And I wonder what that means for Dana Holgorsen calling plays.
Here I am. I'm starting to, I see the Roulade in the fridge and I'm like, I'm kind of thirsty. There's some other drinks and I've been told not to drink it, but man, there's a little condensation dripping down the side and I'm pretty thirsty.
What's going to happen in what, 10 days, the day after the national championship, when Charmar Brown enters the transfer portal and suddenly he's like, I'm coming home too.
Listen.
And Jack starts singing the song again.
Number one, I know I have been warned by many not to drink the Roulade. It's kind of like an Adam and Eve in the apple situation.
Well, I was going to say it's like that situation with the Nike shoes.
Yeah, with the Nike shoes.
The people that were laying, it was a cult type situation in what
yes.
Remember, they drank a form of Kool-Aid as well that day, Jack, and then they died.
It's the forbidden Kool-Aid that's in the fridge that you were like, okay, I'm never drinking it again. Everyone has told me not to. They don't like how I am when I drink it. All of my friends have committed not to drinking it. Like, it's a thing we've all made a pact on. But on the other hand, maybe just a sip.
Just a little tiny taste.
Just a taster.
Yeah.
And I am thirsty, and we don't have much. The milk is already expired. So
that's a bummer. Milk was a bad choice.
I mean, but in my slight defense, we all knew this is where eventually this was going. Eventually.
What, you being hyped about the season?
Yes, it's gonna happen. So if you're mad, if you're listening to this and watching, and you're like, I don't want any more media, which am I media? It's a discussion we could have.
I mean, you do a radio show, that's media. Everyone's media now. This is a podcast.
Yeah. No, I knew we would probably get here in some form. I just thought it'd be like on August 15th.
Yeah, Mose writes Jack 10-2 loading. Yeah, if you're already there on January 10th, like what are we talking about by the time it's September the 4th and they're about to play a game?
It's still in the fridge. It's been untouched since October. So, and it's still there. So let's just see how thirsty I stay.
Okay.
Right.
I love that it's Daniel Kaelin that has pushed you over the top. Like, wow, the third quarterback, and I'm ready to go.
People forget I love quarterback depth.
You do.
I love rushing. Teams. I love quarterbacks who can, are mobile. And if you give me the word dual threat, that takes it to another level. And then you tell me, Dan, and then the connection to my second favorite team is it's just nice to have. I don't know if Nebraska's ever had a transfer from Virginia before.
Oh, come on. They have had to have, right? At some point in time.
Oh, yeah, they have the wide receiver a couple years ago. Short guy.
Oh, yeah. Billy Kemp. Oh, no. Daniel, don't be like Billy Kemp. That guy sucked.
Total aside, I want to play a game when we have nothing to talk about this summer, when we go through every college football team or college football or even college basketball team. And we try and think of a transfer that came from them and went away from them to Nebraska. It's a fun game.
Say this again.
I want to go through like alphabetically the list of every school.
Okay.
And try and see it. It's kind of like guys naming dudes, and see if we can think of one player that came to Nebraska from that school and went to Nebraska from that school, or went to the school from Nebraska.
Okay, it's really fun
I do that sometimes when I'm driving.
It's almost like the what's the grid game called? The baseball thing
Immaculate.
This is the Immaculate Grid Nebraska edition.
Yeah.
But all of it on one side is Nebraska, and then on the top it's Virginia, and it's Wisconsin, and it's Miami.
When you're driving to Oklahoma City for the NCAA tournament, Miami, AJ Allen, there you go.
Yep, there you go. Yep.
But what about came to Nebraska from Miami? Ooh.
They've had to have someone from
this
Miami.
Is the fun of the game. I don't know.
This is a great game. Chunk Fu writes, welcome Chunk Fu. I think this is one of our new subscribers. Kentucky and Nebraska just tossing players back and forth.
Some are very easy.
Toss in the outfield. They're just they're playing catch.
That's another. What is the number one school that is on the list?
What a great question.
Kentucky might be it. That's a great pull by Chunk Fu.
Yeah.
That's a great
shout
name,
out to you. What a fun name, Chunk Fu.
I can't wait
to say that. Yoda having an orgasm? What's going on with that app?
I mean,
interesting.
Feels good. It does.
Jack, this is a great summer game. This could be our new summer project. From the show that brought you the Groin Kick Chronicles comes the Immaculate Grid Transfer Edition.
I don't know if I've ever said this to anyone but Josh, but I want us to own the concept of Husker related guys naming dudes.
Hell yeah, baby.
I want a game show. I want every summer. I want to have some guys naming dudes segments. Because I really enjoy it. And this one I've been thinking about for a long time. I'm so excited I got to bring it up today.
It's going to be a fundraiser. We're going to raise thousands.
So I talked to Mike pretty extensively. And by the way, shameless plug, Unemployed with Mike Schaefer. If you're not on board yet, you're missing out. Why wouldn't you join the cool kids? Because Mike absolutely crushed it in week number 1. Not only with
such a fun first week of shows.
Yeah, not only with the quality of the shows, but he's pulling, 200 live viewers, double what we have right now with Tim Verghese.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know if you heard me say it during the show yesterday, Josh. I know you caught a little, but I started to get a little self-conscious looking up in the left corner at my number.
I did see that. It made me laugh. Very typical Jack Mitchell, being just like, hey, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
Sometimes, my eyes are over here. I'm typing with Mike.
You were just looking at that number the whole time? Why isn't it climbing? Why isn't it climbing? Hey, why isn't it 300 people?
Jack, my eyes are down here,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, come on. Look at me. Yeah. Anyway.
But frankly, what Mike and Tim did, and then what, kind of Mike did with me and probably in some of the other shows too, it was about the best overall full primer on the transfer portal right now. I feel like I've learned a ton, especially from that show on Thursday. So, yeah. So since we've last talked, we should talk about we can talk about both UCLA guys, but this wide receiver is a pretty big one, though.
Is it?
Kwesi?
Yeah.
That's Kwesi.
Tell me more.
He was UCLA's leading receiver last year.
I've made a pact with myself not to get excited about any wide receiver this offseason, Jack.
Okay, Josh won't put the Rule-8 in the
it's
safe,
poisoned.
And he threw away the code.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot you did. His name came up during the show yesterday because it happened for the second straight day, a live UCLA transfer.
I know, how awesome
during
is that?
Unemployed. Are we going to get one every day? A UCLA
Maybe
guy?
that could be a great life for us.
The huge bit. They're going to be easy when we play our game this summer. UCLA Bearcat beat Joe. Anyway,
basketball
transfer. Yeah, you can throw basketball in too.
Yeah.
I pulled up his numbers and I vaguely remembered the name. Now, what I do remember about the Nebraska UCLA game is they didn't really throw to their wide receivers in that game almost at all. They were going against the number 1 pass defense in the nation, so who can blame
at the time?
them?
Yeah,
but this guy, his numbers looked kind of like what did Mike say? I threw out the numbers. And
honestly, it looked like Isaiah Hunter numbers.
Yeah, that's what Mike said. That's what Mike said. When I read 500 yards, I don't have it in front of me, but 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. I can't remember the number of receptions, but yeah, he was their top receiver. And yes, you're 100% right. I'm not at all christening him. I too am like you with taking all of the wide receiver transfers with a grain of salt, but you do add. At this point, Josh, there's a little bit of a victory in just adding someone who has played games and is proven to some degree wherever they were.
Yeah, and part of it, there's a little bit of a bit here, and I'm going to work myself into a shoot. But in all seriousness, I have done this too many times with this position in particular.
Totally understand.
So I think we all get it, right? Jim and O'Neill says, does this mean we have a wideout leaving?
Yeah,
I'll be honest. So the thumbnail today is a picture of Ja'Cory Barney. It has been really interesting that there has been no chatter with him so far because
I agree.
His was a name in the lead up to the portal opening 8 days ago that we heard a lot. So let's just add all the caveats. Allegedly, right? I can say now whatever I want to. I think, right, Jackie, you're a lawyer. Can I say now anything I want to? But in all seriousness, his name had a lot of chatter in particular, and so that there has been nothing in that regard. And then Isaiah Hunter was the player that was suddenly out for the bowl game. Jack, was he not, with an injury, which came again out of nowhere? And I think a lot of people immediately were like, whoa. What does that mean for him? Is he trying to not get hurt because he is about to enter into the portal? Another very good question. And so the fact that we have gotten 8 days in and it still has 6 more days, this will not close until Jack is on with Mike Schaefer on Unemployed with Mike Schaefer on Friday, and some piece of news drinks between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock Central on Friday. But in all seriousness, like, there are still days to come. I am just a little surprised. That there has been a lack of chatter with the wide receiver position as it pertains to guys currently on the team.
Barney, Cortez Mills, and while I didn't hear a lot of actual smoke on Isaiah Hunter. I definitely wondered. Mm-hmm. That's another one where it feels like if you added this UCLA guy and held on to everyone else, again, we're grading on a bit of a curve here, to use that analogy again, but it's about as good as you hoped for, right? Your best case scenarios are not 5 great receivers transferring in, but one guy who's been a starter and keeping the rest of those guys. Now there's some people who are out on Ja'Cory Barney completely.
But wouldn't you rather have him back than not? Like, I would rather have Ja'Cory. Yes. Ja'Cory Barney is a proven commodity. He falls down, I know. He gets tackled because the wind gust comes in. I understand that. But if you look at what he is able to do as a receiver, I mean, Jack, he had almost 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, it's still stuff that's not just easily replaceable, in my opinion. Though maybe people think it is,
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like he could be used better. His yards per catch went up almost 3 yards. It went from 8.1 to 10.8. I still think that number could be way higher, though. If
nothing else, he's a good punt returner.
Yeah. I just think he has a skill set that I really like. I just don't think that it has been executed. I don't think it's him. I don't think that it's, if you were to do a pie chart on where the blame falls on his career not reaching its potential to this point, he deserves some of the blame, but I don't think that he deserves all of the blame. And so I would rather have him back than not have him back. I feel like that's an easy, normal take. But
Alex
maybe
says,
I'm wrong.
Would I rather hold a twig in my hand than not? Maybe. I think that that really makes you think.
Come on, man. Are we unnecessarily bullish on Ja'Cory Barney? Are we unnecessarily bullish?
I will tell you,
Ja'Cory
just
Barney?
from reaction when I've seen him brought him up before, we're kind of like me and you were, and Josh Jabs. He gets mad if and one other person that was high on Emma Johnson coming into the year. But yes, but again, you've got to look at where Nebraska is. You've got to take with where Nebraska is. I don't think you can afford to lose a guy like that unless you're bringing in just a ridiculous transfer class, which you're not. At that position. Sure. But if you can tell me you come in and you've got the UCLA guy, and I have no idea what his name is. I'm sorry, I can't remember. And you got Barney, and you've got Isaiah, and you've got Cortez Mills, and you've got Clark, and you've got Keelan Smith.
It's a solid room at the very least.
It's at least got depth and guys who I personally am not convinced are just never going to be it. I don't feel that way about any of those guys in that room. So, are the systemic things that have been there with wide receiver room forever potentially there? Yeah, absolutely.
But I'd rather have those guys than a bunch of newbies. I mean, because I think Ja'Cory is proven. I think Isaiah Hunter is proven. Like, they are proven at Nebraska. Now, are they proven?
Hunter, I have zero trepidation about. They didn't get him the ball enough. I mean,
I think Isaiah Hunter could be an 800-yard receiver. Could he not?
He should have been. It's ridiculous. I mean, he was, I think, criminally underused last year.
Yeah.
But that's just because they didn't throw it deep. I mean, we've gone down this path too. They didn't throw it beyond 20 yards down the field. Mm-hmm. So, frankly, all of the wide receivers were underused last year. Dane Key was too.
Yeah, I definitely think we're all in agreement. I think people are really buying stock on Hunter, and that is the player of all the guys in the room that I would buy stock on. But I'm going to hold out a little bit of hope that Barney can still be used in a different way, and maybe a quarterback with a bit of mobility. And I mean, Jack, what was it? Was it the first drive against Utah in the bowl game where they did the end around and he scored a touchdown, and everyone was like, "Where the hell's that been?" Yeah. And so, like, where the hell has that been?
A very fair question. Where the hell was that? I can't believe we saw so few plays like that where they gave him the ball in space.
Yeah.
I didn't even. You know who I forgot about? And I saw it in the chat. I heard the name yesterday too. Forgot about Janiran Bonner.
He got hurt in what game?
The Cincinnati game.
I was going to say, was that the opener? I couldn't remember if it was Cincy or one of the other.
And I know he's not. His position is sort of somewhere between
tight end,
wide receiver, tight end, fullback. But I guess you add him to the mix too. And they seemed really disappointed just in terms of how he was, kind of the glue guy, I suppose, on some of these schemes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Clint. Oh, yeah, that was kind of a messed up tackle. That's right. I forgot about that. I heard that internally they were pretty triggered by that, the way that the Cincinnati guy tackled him. So
interesting. I vaguely remember that now. So Big Red Easy said, who's a wide receiver all super high on? They got injured in the spring game 2 years ago. Has he gotten healthy?
That is you just named him.
No, I didn't name him. The one who tore up his knee and
was that the guy from Missouri?
No, he wasn't ready for the beginning of the year this year either after that.
Somebody Bell.
Demetrius Bell, thank you.
Demetrius Bell. Nice job by you, Big Red Easy. Jim and O'Neill, it might be Western Nebraska in me, but I think Carter Nelson makes a big jump this year. Now that is a player, Jack, that I am not going to get excited for all offseason. He is the epitome of I need to see it before I believe it. The one critique with Carter coming out of high school was, are we sure? Because he played nobody. And he was a freakazoid athlete, but it was like, are we sure that he's going to be able to handle the step up in competition? But then the worst thing happens to him. He gets hurt. And so the development is going to get pushed back. I mean, in a way, it's like Fedoni. Like the problem with Fedoni was he just kept getting injured. And so like he's missing out on chances to really.
I'm in both camps on that. Like I agree with you. I've got to see it, but I still will always be fascinated with him as a player.
Yeah, I'm not.
And interested. Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm banking on anything, but I still would rather see if that works rather than not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looked better in year 1 than 2 for sure. And I assume it's because was having to come back from injury.
Yeah.
Serious injury.
Yeah.
Josh hates hyped ball catchers.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just done with it. I've been burned too many times. I've been hurt too many times. I've been hurt way too many times.
Josh can't love again.
I can't.
Too many bad breakups.
Yeah. You know what? I think you might be right. I can't do it anymore. Because then if they're good, then it's like fun. It's exciting. Oh, cool. It's like a fun treat. It's like putting your hand in your pocket and finding a $20 bill. If Carter Nelson is good next year, that's a $20 bill.
That's fine. I don't disagree with you on what that is, but yeah.
Adam says not everyone can be Purify. Exactly. Nobody can be my guy, Maurice Purify, the greatest wide receiver of the 2000s.
You want to hear a Jack opinion that people will hate? Get Purify's son on the team no matter what, because he's Purify's son.
It's also a great name, isn't it? Purify. Like it just sounds fun off the tongue.
I don't care.
Purify.
I don't care if he never plays. I just want to see that jersey.
Yeah, I love
me and you are.
Yeah, handshake me, baby.
On Mo Purify in his career.
Oh,
the most underrated player in Nebraska football history.
Thank you.
I'll say it.
Thank you. Oh, Clint says Bobby Purify nightmares. Yeah, people forget about 62-36.
That was weird when he was there. Any relation?
Yeah, they're cousins, right?
Are they really?
Cousins? I think so, yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Mr. Noah brings up now, he said the name wrong, and you're going to have to help me, Jack, because he writes Mark Markway injured too. I forget. Is it Mac Markway or is it Mark Macway? I always thought that it should be Mark Macway. That sounds like a more normal name. Mac Markway it sounds like a pretend video game name. No offense to the Markway family, but it's like reversed. It's a first name as a last name. I'm just a little confused. People were very
no
excited
offense to him because this guy has been through crap. It's terrible. I kind of forgot about him. I assume I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what his situation is, but
exactly.
that is one interesting spot is tight end that legitimately no one is talking about.
Well, we just spent some time talking about Carter Nelson.
Yeah, that's true. although is he?
I mean, if you get Bonner and Mark
Carter Nelson kind of played that Bonner slot position in the little bit he did play this year. He played both, but
if you got all three of those guys healthy, like would they just roll with that room?
Yeah, and you'll still have Lindenmeyer too, but. Man, it'd be if they could pull a weird transfer, it'd be an interesting position to do it.
Yeah. Talk about another position that everybody collectively has agreed to never get excited for again, tight end. How many guys have we been burned by over the years at that position?
And I still can't believe the difference between first half Lindenmeyer and second half Lindenmeyer. And again, just wasn't used in the
I know.
That is the most frustrating thing about this offense is you had guys that just were not used in the best way they could be, it felt like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Real quick, I want to get to basketball, but
yeah.
I told Mike what I thought about just kind of evaluating what they've done some of the other places. I'm curious, how do you feel about the offensive line situation? Because you got multiple guys who are in. You've got multiple,
I was gonna say
you got another one or two guys. It sounds like maybe you had the guy from Baylor who was on campus this week. I think almost universally we agree that is the number one priority in the transfer portal.
See, I'm surprised. I heard you say that to him yesterday. You say that over defensive line.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know Keona Davis was leaving at the time I originally said that.
Yeah.
That changes it a little.
Yeah, I'm on defensive line being the most important, but and so like that they've struggled so far is like a little bit problematic.
That's the biggest. That's the other thing is that whether you have that one or two, I think we all can agree that's the biggest concern.
For sure. But I mean, at the very least, they're bringing in, what's the number now? So you got Black. He's on the interior offensive line.
Yeah, that's the Iowa State guard.
You got Tree. He's the South Carolina guy. He's a tackle.
Those are two starters. So those are two starters, Josh.
Yeah, for sure. How many starters did they need? How many starters did
they need? Now they really need one. So Mike thinks Gatula will move from tackle to guard.
Well, let's throw out one more name real quick. Allegedly, there was a lot of chatter about Justin Evans. And again, nary a word at a lot of these dudes that there was some chatter about potentially leaving. And that's pretty big if they're able to keep their starting center, for 2026.
And I wondered if they might go after a center and bring him back to guard too. But I don't know. I don't know if that's a possibility or not. It sounds like they're keeping him center. The line that Schaefer kind of quoted for me is at one side on tackle, you've got Tree, you've got Black from Iowa State, you got Evans. He thought the front runner for the other guard position, which would be the one that's unclear, is Gatula. And then you got what's his name from Alabama at the other tackle, Alabama transfer. Pritchett, yeah. So that's your line going into next year. I don't know how folks feel about that. It's hard because you don't know what Tree or Black are going to be, but you would hope at very least it's an upgrade from where it was last year.
Yeah. Will be very interesting to see what happens. All right, Jack, you have a heart out. So let's get to hoops.
Yeah.
As they get ready, trying to go to 16-0. I don't know. I mean, what do we say? What do we say about the greatest Nebraska men's basketball team in a generation as they just continue their march? I think I got a take for you. I think the funniest thing about this whole discussion now is that it's an Overton window, right? That thing has shifted to the point where when national media talk about them, they're like, are they for real? And the way in which when they say that, they do not mean, are they good? Will they win a game? Could they make it to the second weekend? They are saying, is Nebraska a national championship contender? And that is, I think, broken everyone's brains to the point where, like, you hear that and you're like, of course they're for real. And then they're like, yeah, so I don't think they can win the Natty. And you're like, wait, that's what you were talking about? Okay, never mind. I actually agree with you on this opinion.
It just goes so much to the character of Nebraska basketball fans.
Right?
They would never even, like, they're not thinking that way for the most part about, is this an Elite Eight team? That thought has not crossed the vast majority because they're terrified to think of it. And so it's funny because I think I maybe talked about it on the show. Like, I watched Field of 68 after dark after that Ohio State game because I needed content. And it was that exact experience through the show. I think I quoted that. Like, the guy seemed kind of down on him. He's like, I wonder what they're going to do when they go against some more athletic teams and all of this. And is basically what sounded like he was arguing that they're not, quote unquote, for real. And then he goes, but will they have 15 wins in the Big Ten? Yeah. It's like, will they have 30 total wins after the postseason? Yeah. And I was like, well, what are we doing here then?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
not for real.
There literally is national championship. You know?
I didn't think they had a chance at those things when you started talking, and now you're telling me those are assumed. You're talking about a level ball on that?
Yeah. It's like, is the comp, just looking at like a football comparison for a second, like, is it Texas A&M? Like, Texas A&M just had their greatest regular season ever, but they didn't make it to the Final Four or national championship game. So, like, was Texas A&M for real this year? I guess not in that regard, but I mean, they had a great season. You know, if Nebraska had that equivalent where they're making it to the second weekend, you would say, that's for real to me, but that's not how they're watching it and discussing them. It's so very strange. It is so very strange.
And this is the only, Mike and I were talking about this. This has become like the cliche go to cry on the screen at every basketball show now. When you bring it, is Nebraska for real? It's the first take. You know, if you bring up this team, this is the only discussion they have about them, which understood. We do that for I'm sure we did that for Indiana football last year in the middle of the year. It was the exact same thing. That's what you do when a team comes out of nowhere like that. And meanwhile, here we are with still lower expectations. And Mike brought this up, and I'll stand by this. And people may hate it, but I think most of the true, if you're a real Nebrasketball fan, I think the majority of people are in this camp. What is the bare minimum that constitutes success this season? It's winning one NCAA game.
Yeah, I love that.
After that, it's gravy.
I love that question yesterday. I think it was it Fight who asked it? That was basically like, you know, now that they have had this start to a season, what is the level of success that you will be okay with now? If the NCAA tournament started next week, what would they need to do to have the season be an undeniable success in the eyes of the fans? Getting win number 1, Sweet 16 or more. You know,
I'm solidly in the camp. Critique me all you want. I'm solidly in the camp of the first one.
They win the game and you're good. It's everything else after that's gravy.
Of course, they play in the second round against Louisville or something and lose a 2-point game. I'm going to be, I will be apoplectic, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
But 2 months later, I can't imagine I would look back at this season and be like, well, it's just a what could have been situation with these guys.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing.
They finally did the thing.
If it's the best case scenario and they're a 3 seed, it's a 3-6 game. Like that. Yeah. Think about your brackets. We've never thought about this with Nebraska. The context I think about this is filling out my bracket. I'd never be surprised if a 6 beat a 3. Yeah. Right? By the time you get there, it doesn't seem. They seem, somewhat co-equal. That's probably putting it a little strongly, but that's where I am. And hell,
Jack, imagine if the 6 was upset by an 11 and suddenly you're playing an 11 seed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and of course, is there could some crazy things happen if they keep winning? Sure, that's incredibly fun. I hope that's the journey we are on. I love I loved the story Mike told where he was like, I'm envisioning this scenario where Shelby and I go to the first round and they win the second game. And all of a sudden they were like, are we going to Boston next weekend? Are we doing this? Like, it gave me goosebumps. I freaking loved the idea of that because I haven't thought about that. And real quick on some of my interactions with Ant, to my point about that whole
future
thing,
friend of the I-80 Club, Ant.
I've heard a little bit of this because the assumption is, rightfully so, if you've got new money all of a sudden, very new money, and you don't know that, and because they're Nebraska fans, let's be honest, we've got a reputation because of football fans. There's the assumption that this fan base is coming in bigger than their britches, and here they think they can take on the world.
Especially that Jack Mitchell guy.
They can take on the world, and that they're going to get a hard lesson in reality, and that could not be. I'm sure there are exceptions out there.
Have you ever heard of Bart Torvik, Jack? Have you ever looked at a net ranking? Do you know what any of this stuff means?
I thought that was a hilarious argument too, because wait, don't the bubble teams look way closer at the net rankings than the 2 seeds?
Yeah, that's actually true. Jack, did you know that the net ranking is a sorting mechanism? Has anybody ever told you that?
I know. It's like, hey, do you know what these quads are? Yeah, it's the only thing we've talked about for the last, January to March for the last 3 years. So yeah, I do.
I liked his quote tweet of you yesterday because, like you, I was confused by what it
still don't get what he had the Breaking Bad gif. I had no idea what it meant.
Yeah, and like Walt yelling at Jesse.
There were people on Twitter like going at him on behalf of me, And he was like, "You don't get what I mean." And I was like, and I replied to him. I was like, "I gotta be honest, I didn't get what you meant."
Yeah,
either.
explain the joke, because that makes jokes even funnier.
I kind of wanted him to. I was hoping he would explain. I was sort of trying to bait him into explaining, like showing.
Yeah, Alex says, get him on to discuss. Get him on to explain the joke. Get him on the podcast to explain the joke there.
Well, he liked me now, so I should strike.
You can slide into his DMs. You guys could be best buds. He could be a great guest of the pod.
I mean, listen, I will say this. I didn't know who he was. I think I brought him up to you
last
year, and I was like, "You follow this guy? He's super, I think, interesting on social media." I said that. I know you don't, but I at least told you who he was.
No, that's what I'm saying. Last year, my response was no. It's a college basketball guy. Why would I follow a national college basketball?
And once the conference season starts, I love his content. So I think it's really good. I think
Alex
he's really smart. He's a former player, so he's really smart.
Earlier this week, Jack said to me, "We don't even have a show that I could have him on." And I said, "What are you talking about? We have the Nebrasketball Hour and we have I-80+1. We have a show literally built around a guest called I-80+1." Yeah,
there's such a desire in the club for me to bring in guests.
Because you're fun at it.
Are we not good enough?
Because you always go into these interviews and you're like, this isn't going to be fun. And then what do you do afterwards? You text me, God, you were right again. Like, well, of course we should have talked to Doug Lehman.
That's it.
That was a great conversation.
That's done now. From now on, it's done. No more. No, there won't be any more good ones. I was right.
Wow. Very sad. Very, very sad.
My mentality, my mentality today is rinse and repeat for the last every game the last 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get myself. I feel like going into it, like, I'm like, this is where it ends. This has got to be where it ends. And it's not even like I'm upset. I don't mean like this is where the season goes to hell. It's just like this is when they finally lose. This is when they have a bad day.
Hey, real quick. So you mentioned Indiana, and obviously that's the comp, right? And because they're literally playing Indiana today. Indiana football's going to a national championship. I wonder at what point last year, or even this year, it went from, wow, this is awesome, the shoe will drop, to screw you idiots, we're winning it all. Because I follow multiple Indiana fans, and there's one in particular, friend of the I-80 Club, Kyle Robbins, who is like, you guys are idiots for doubting this. This team is a freaking wagon. Will there be a point this year, or would it take another season of doing this into next year where you're like a true believer in everything that they have to offer? Where
I don't even
know
if next season would do it for me.
You think if they keep this if they beat Michigan, or what if they play close and they lose to Michigan? Would that be enough for you?
No. I mean, I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I haven't.
But again, the question then comes back to, what are you talking about in terms of believing in them? Is it believing in them to win one game, or are we saying Final Four? Like, what are we doing?
Listen, but I believe this about. Here's the thing. I believe this about many Nebraska basketball teams: is there a chance they could beat anyone? Yeah, probably. Could they beat a great Purdue team that comes into Lincoln, a number one team 2 years ago? No, 2 years ago though. Like, yeah, they could.
Yeah,
Zach Edey, and could Casey get hot and they beat him? Yeah, they could, and they did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I don't believe they can pull these off. It's just I don't necessarily. It's hard for me to think ahead to like the real gaudy down the road outcomes of it.
Sure,
and be even confident in them happening. It's fun as hell to start to think about them, but at some point, my own internal guardrails start to say, "Okay, we've had some fun, but it's time to bring her." Rein her back in, okay?
The next 2 months are going to be so interesting, because this is one long countdown to day one of the NCAA tournament that Nebraska plays in.
I will share this. I texted Josh, and you know me, I'll probably never do it. I wish I would, though. I think this fan base is such a unicorn for a variety of ways. And if you're in it, and everybody I talk to in it is kind of the same way. And it's just, there's no comp. The closest one is obviously, like almost like a Cubs Red Sox type thing in baseball, but that was for the championship.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for
like the if they win one game in the NCAA tournament, there's going to be a part of me like, okay, I checked that box on my sports list. If I die and I just got that, that's fine.
Think about that. Yeah. Instead of the other stuff that most college basketball fans want. And that's like second weekend, third weekend, Final
Can you
Four.
think of any comp in sports like that kind of a perspective? Of
such a low bar to clear, but they haven't done it, so it makes sense.
On the other hand, there's also just a weird amount of love for the program. There's a weird amount of love for this painful history. and the shared experience of this painful history. You talk about guys naming dudes. Nobody loves guys naming dudes like Nebraska basketball fans. No, I mean, you'll walk up to somebody and you'll just go Kerry Cohorn, and they'll go, "Oh yeah, I love that guy." It's just.
Oh well,
Chris Ballum.
Nebraska Ball Hour. Yeah, I know. You got to go. Nebraska Ball Hour, 1:15 today. Jack and Caleb will, 1:15-ish. They will recap the game. So stay tuned here on the I-80 Club YouTube channel for that. We'll be back next week with all sorts of stuff. It's going to be a little wonky with our schedule as Jack heads out of town, obviously for terrible reasons. And then we'll try to get back on a bit more of a normal schedule after.
I will be. Thank you for your patience again with me. I know I talked a lot about it, so we're not going to get into it now, but I am back. Are we going to try and do I-80 Live on Thursday?
Thursday. The plan is going to be Thursday next week.
So no Wednesday show.
Yeah, so what, the 15th? So so no Wednesday show, and then I think I'll be handling the Nebraska Ball Hour duties for I guess if we do one, because it's a late game. So stay tuned for updates. We'll let everybody know what the plan is in the coming days. All right, Jack's got to run.
Thanks,
Sorry for
everybody.
the quick ending. Thanks for joining us on Saturday Morning Coffee Show. Like and subscribe. Check out Unemployed with Mike Schaefer. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.